Hello, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the return of the Aza Suji Cup Autumn Rhythm, the second edition. My name is Mashed Potato, and joining here in the commentary booth is the one and only Epic Man 2. Hello there.
Hello, hello! The Epic Men have reunited once again, and we are back to showcase to you the first ever stream of this brand new sequel that we got for the Asia Suiji Cup, as we've mentioned. So this was a bit of a prolific tournament that was hosted about a year ago, so during the late summer months during the year. So gonna be really cool to see this make it a comeback for the winter season of this year as we close it out for 2025. And yeah, this year is looking to be pretty interesting with all the 96 players that we've got to showcase here, as we're going to be drafting them into various teams and going to be putting them into 16 groups for them to be able to at least compete in the qualifiers afterwards, which, you know, we'll get onto the nitty-gritty for that one later on. So, yep, here are your C tier players that we've got here. So, a bunch of names right here. You can probably recognize some of them.
Yeah, absolutely. This is probably one of the most stacked tournament we have out here, definitely within the Asian region, especially. Seed C is supposed to be kind of the weaker players, but you can see in here, these names are pretty much quite well known, at least known for having either good accuracy, high skill cap, or a mix of that. And now, let's get straight on to the drafting.
Absolutely. So right here, a bit of a clean transition right there. Ooh, so yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is the part where we basically, if you're familiar with how we did the system last year, then you kind of know how it works already. We basically spin a wheel to get some players in one team, and it seems like here, just as you can see here, we got just some guy 97 in team 1 as the first seed C player.
Yeah, that's for sure. And we'll kind of talk about both of the players in the Seed C once the second player has been rolled. And actually, it's going to be the Mongoose. Oh, sorry, Snowy. I'm not sure why. Okay, this is actually quite interesting. Snowy's a really... I saw Snowy name popped up in like the chat quite a lot. And he's quite a prolific player in terms of all-rounder, in my opinion. And I'm not too sure about just some guy, I'll be honest. I think, let me just check his profile. There's quite a lot of players that we're not too sure about, but also he's also within... Okay, so he's a Singaporean player, has a couple of good LN scores. So yeah, probably a pretty good synergy right here for the C seed. And with that, we should move on to the next team.
Yeah, so... Yeah, it seems like we're going to be moving on to Team O2, where we will be rolling the Seed C for all the players. Basically, how it works is that we usually roll all the players in one category, like into one team, before we move on to the next tiers of players, which includes the B seed players and the Seed A players, which is basically the leagues. And we got Amano Hino in Seed C for Team O2. So I know this player. I played against him a few times back in 4DM earlier. They're a very prolific player, especially within the SV category.
Yeah, and then on the other hand, you got Youngjong Yu Fanboy. I think he's a Korean player. Not much is known about this player, but I think they're like a dual 7-key, 4-key main player with some vibro ability. So they got a 99% on their profile on Electric Butterfly. So if there are like any like heavy jack patterns, this is a scary duo. You got like a physicality player and like an all-rounder with a very strong SV base with Amano Hina as well.
Yeah, this definitely looks to be quite the solid CC team for Team O2 right here, and we can move on to Team O3, where we will roll out the other Seed C players. So far, it's looking like all the options that we've had so far were pretty interesting. So for this one, we're going to be seeing none other than Rip Mr. CR7 for Seed C. I don't know exactly way too much about this player, but I'm assuming that they're going to be solid, and they're going to be paired up here with Rayo 9 here.
Okay, so I should know just a bit about Rip MSCR7. He's a Vietnamese player But that's, to be honest, I've went around and asked some of the players around, some of the community leaders in the VNMC group, and he's actually quite unknown as well. So quite a bit of a known factor. Not much known about this player, but this could be a good thing coming into the qualifiers. You get to find out kind of what sort of skill sets does your teammate have. And on the other hand, we got Ray09.
Yeah, Ray09 definitely looks to be a bit of an interesting one. I don't know exactly what their tournament history is, but looking at their profile, they do seem to have like some pretty high performance point scores on maps such as Saichikichiku and Mota Flonderest from Tahoe Cup 4, the full version, which, you know, obviously Mint's got to rank her high SR maps into the rank section. So obviously, if you know what the map is, then surely you're probably familiar with it. 821 performance points off that one, and a bunch of other various maps as well, which is just core jack slop for lack of a better description.
Yeah, but actually, I just want to add in, I looked at the score. So this is a 275 BPM dense jump street map. Kairu, fall progress 1.2. And he's number 18 on that. So this basically, in terms of physicality, this is basically Delta sort of level physicality right here. So this player won't get out skill cap. I'm very sure about that. And let's move on to the next team, the fourth team. And here we go. Let's get straight into the first player of Seed C in team number 4. It is going to be
Isaac Y.
Okay, Isaac Y. I think he's a Singaporean player. If I okay, Philippines. Sorry. Okay, I'm not. Okay, so in the I talked to Lively Peninsula said in this is in quotation, but I think Isaac's biggest strength is that he can probably do almost everything. And then you got Fairwest F9. Yeah, this is quite a scary team. Fairwest is basically an all-rounder, really strong early game player, lots of good high accuracy SS. So you got a player who can do almost anything, and a player who's also all-rounded as well. This is a super all-rounded Seed C right there.
Yeah. I think this is like the really funny thing about Seed C players in general. Like, you can literally just get like players that you don't even know have even played in tournament before, and they'll literally be like some of the darkest horses that you'll probably see. Like, legit the perfect setup for a Trojan horse going up against your opponent's base, and that is something that I feel would benefit a lot of teams as well. Like, just the fact that you have like a lot of this RNG factor sprinkled in, and it really benefits the rest of your team. Like, if you have, like, you know, a very strong Seed B and Seed A tier players. So that said, we can move on to the 5th team right here. So that is the initial 4 teams done in terms of sorting their Seed C players out. We will spin the wheel once again, and seeing who gets the stick here is going to be none other than Oaksig.
Oaksig. Oh, okay. I don't have notes on him, but I definitely have seen. So they have played in the previous Asia Sushi Cup version. Their team was, I think, seed 14 or 15, but I think they managed to pull an upset against the seed 4 or seed 3 team in the tournament. Oaksig was probably one of the main player in that sort of comeback. So yeah, already a tournament player. And then you got the Mongus 179. Do you got any info on him by any chance?
For me personally, this is like the first time I'm seeing him, so just gonna look over his profile real quick. They appear to be a player from Australia, so being in the top 15 of that country alone, they do have a bunch of like pretty solid scores as well. Gonna have basically a 96% score in Parallel Universe Shifter, and also nearly 97% on Fallen Symphony. So both these maps, everyone and their moms know them, so it should be self-explanatory. I don't even need to like continue to explain. I mean, this player seems relatively solid in terms of what they gotta bring to the table. So I'm assuming they're gonna be a bit of a physical, like, hybrid player, if all things goes well, obviously.
Yeah, and let's move on to the next team number 6. Got quite a lot. We still got like around, I think, 22 more players to go through in Seed C. Gonna be quite a long stream, but it's going to be so exciting. Okay, so we're gonna be having Kapu Kapu fanboy. Kapu's actually I use quite a lot of stickers from Kapu. So knowing it's good knowing there's someone else who's a fanboy of that. And we got Mokchi on the side. I can provide some info from Kapu fanboy. So I think it's Alan main player if I remember correctly. And with a GBC kind of scale, he's a middle. He's kind of like a really decent player. Like not in like EX, but he can definitely like tangle with the players in the AC in the GB Cup. And then we got Mochi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mochi definitely is a bit of an interesting choice here. So reigning as the #1 player over in Georgia, bit of an interesting country I haven't really seen too much of the scene of, but from what I'm looking, the scores in this guy seem relatively interesting. They have gone like just barely an S rank on Slavic Goblins by Standkill, the love map that I'm pretty sure most people know, and a bunch of other physical scores as well. So getting some of these scores off of like some Epsilon Jack practice packs maps, basically just about A rank on them, and like basically just what you see of like majority of like players that actually pay attention to the rank section. I mean, I'm literally just grasping at straws here just to try and figure out like which ones would actually be interesting to like, at least try and provide context to in a tournament sense. Because like, I don't think majority of these players that I've seen like are way too.
Yeah, that's. I think you cut off a bit, but. Yeah, but let's just move on to the next team for now. But that is a scary lineup already, to be fair. And let's move on to team number 7. I think for CC in general, quite a lot of the players are either unknown or either like skill cap players who doesn't have a good tournament history. And actually now we're gonna have Kurokami FBK, a player that I've met in real life already, so I can provide some good thoughts on that. And we got Kurimu. So I'm just gonna briefly go over Kurokami FBK. I think he is basically an all-rounder. So like basically he can play anything. He's a hidden player. I think it's quite a rare skill set to have, just being able to read hidden quite well. And he has played in various tournaments, and he also has played in the previous Asia Sushi Cup. So he definitely got the tournament history to back up.
Yeah, and as for Kurimu, gonna be another player reigning from Taiwan here. Out of the Toilet Driver clan, as I can see here. So, bit of a newish player. They joined the game like just at the end of 2021 or so. Basically Christmas of that year, and they've got like some pretty solid scores on the board. Basically, same stuff as you usually see on most players' profile in terms of majority of the ranked maps they've played. They also have a pretty they actually have some LM scores. Actually, they just about have a 98.60% on Dawn's number from MWC. Interesting.
Wow. Okay, 98.5%. On NWC Grand Final stuff, easy stuff.
Easy.
Easy. Let's move on to the next team then. We're just about to reach the halfway point. And there's already so many scary teams. So, and this is the C seed. This is the C seed we're talking about. Things gonna get much more worse because now we got Gold Pavilion. I think this is the highest ranked 4K player in the list of CC. So this is a very strong player, and gonna be paired with Sheena. Do you want to just provide some insights on Gold Pavilion by any chance?
Yeah. From what I can see here for Gold Pavilion, they seem to be mainly a Rice player, but it does seem like accuracy might not be entirely their strongest suit, but at the same time, they do seem to have relatively solid scores on the board. Like regardless of which, they have a high A rank on Vertex Beta on the top diff, which is Reform Zeta. So this map is a bit of a lesser known one, but this one has quite a bit of attention in the past 5 years accumulated. So definitely interesting. So I'm assuming this is going to be a bit of a physical player.
And then
if my assumptions serve me right.
And then you got Sheena, so who's basically the Group S to Group EX player within the GBC Cup. Generally balanced, all-rounded player with a good accuracy base to boot as well. So very complementary group of players, to be honest. And now let's move on to the ninth team for the CC.
Oh, halfway
Should
there,
be a bit
folks.
quicker. Halfway there in the C seat. We still have 2 more seats to go, ladies and gentlemen. And the first player is going to be Sunny Yoni. I think he's in terms of the adjusted rank, he came out to be kind of on the lower end, but I think he's a Korean Mania player. I think he's quite a lot similar to the other CC players in terms of he's just getting high skill cap players, really good scores on farm maps, and could provide a good edge in the later stages. And then you get Villanescent. I'm just gonna take this as well because Villanescent is a Vietnamese player. Not much is similar to kind of the other players in the CC. Not much is known about him. I think this is the first time he has played in the tournament, if I remember, first tournament experience. So not much to say about that. But I do know that he does have a high skill cap. So both of these players are high skill cap players. So I mean, if you get the good set of accuracy player in the B and A seed, these two players can do a lot of damage when you get to the finals or grand final stage.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you have to, but when the fact that both these players are incredibly physical, these can definitely be the type of players that can really peek into your shield as a team, and that's something that you really cannot afford. So even if, like, you don't really know like the good majority of the players that are in the Seed C play in the Seed C like selections for each team, don't get fooled by it. It'll probably be the death of like many of these teams if they do have just about the right Seed B and Seed A players. But that said, we can move on to Team 10. We still have quite a bit of players to go to burn through. Gonna be the final 6 teams to at least assort the Seed C players for. And for this one, we're gonna be seeing none other than Diamond Pumpkin going in for this one. So I definitely recognize this name from perhaps a few places in questions, and with them, they're going to be paired with none other than New Dragon as well on that matter.
Yeah, I can provide some brief info on Diamond Pumpkin. In general, in terms of dance, I've been provided that he's around like his clear Gamma and the Dan 12 of LN. So definitely can play off the earlier stage, and is an all-rounder. So they can play basically everything, I think, in like the early to mid stage, and they have a tournament experience to boot as well, which is actually quite a good thing to bring for the CC, because I think quite a lot of the CCs here, they don't have a tournament history, so this might be their first time playing. So the nerves might be betraying them. So having a tournament experience definitely is going to help you.
Yeah, indeed. And as for New Dragon, definitely their pin scores definitely seem to be a little interesting and straightforward. So I think the one that stands out most to me has to be their FCL Nakman core, which was originally one of the qualifiers for MWC back in 2022 by Mint. The jump stream map, it's 230 BPM jump stream for 60 minutes straight with zero to no breaks at all. This guy full on FC'd it and top 50 in that map as well. That is genuinely insane. So definitely looking to be a bit of a physical player with good consistency as well, in my opinion. Look out for him. Just look out for them.
Scary. And now let's move on to the 11 team. 10 players to go. 10 players to go. There's still so many scary names in here. And the first player in Team 11 is going to be Old Pigeon. I've heard quite a few things about Old Pigeon. I think they're an active tournament player within the GBC's, the GB Cup scene. And quite all-rounded as well. So quite a scary player to have, to be able to face against. And then the last player of Team 11 is going to be Hexstep.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a solid 2-player team as we got here. Hexstep is basically one of the few higher leagued players on the side of the Philippines, and they definitely have some pretty solid scores as well. Going to be perhaps a 985k on Fairy Tale by Celia. This is a bit of an old LM map that I haven't really seen in quite some time, but I remember this probably was a bit more on the You know, like those Shu-chan type LN maps in Love, like basically
Oh,
those
yes.
ones, or at least like if I assume that this is like exactly those kinds of maps. And then as for Old Pigeon, like this is another player that I have seen in some places. They're from China, but of course they're about top 500 in that country as well. Gonna be having some pretty physical scores on that matter as well. Maybe not within like, you know, some of the more nitty-gritty maps in terms of tournaments, but they also have quite a bunch of capabilities that are present within higher HEMOs as well.
Okay. Well, thank you for the analysis, and let's move on to the 12th team. Again, there's still so many players that I can recognize of this list, and it's going to be getting even tougher and tougher. Oh, okay. This is okay. Paul Piwon. I think they are an Singaporean Mania World Cup player. A good balance on all skill set. I think this is probably one of the strongest CC player out of the list. Tournament experience, has good physicality on both Ellen and Rice, and also just being able to act things as well. And then you got Reimu.
Yeah, Remu definitely looks to be a bit of a solid player as well in that matter. Going to be having some pretty good 4K scores as well. They have basically almost an SS on Saying Our Memories by, I believe this is a collab between Upon Yuichi and Esmer. This was
easy.
a love map from 2019 or so. So
It's the old Ellen maps, yeah.
Yeah, well, some of these older LN maps that are like pretty dense. I mean, I guess some of these maps are kind of self-explanatory. I mean, these are I know majority of like easy MMR's older LN maps are they follow a pretty specific formula. So if I see a score in like any of them, then rest assured the player must be pretty good at them because they're pretty funky in some parts, so to say.
Yeah, very scary CC core right here. And now we're moving on to the last quarter of the teams. First off, Team 13. Let's see who we get. Oh, the excitement I'm getting just seeing like the remaining players and who's going to get picked. Okay, so we're going to be CJ Key. I think that's how you pronounce their name. To provide some quick analysis, I think they're a Rice main player. Very high physicality, being basically Delta level, a great balance in all Rice related skill sets. So they are, I think they're like the main Rice player, and they're going to be matched up with Koron Kun.
Okay, yeah. Koron Kun's looking to be one of those top players over in Thailand, basically. Top 10 in 4K rankings, or at least like within their own country. And overall, they do definitely seem to be pretty solid in terms of LN and a bunch of other like maps that they have as well. Namely within easy MMR loved maps that we can see, their pin scores is literally all just loved maps.
Yeah, that's for sure. Sorry about that. Actually, this is a good synergy. You got like a Rice main player and an LN main player in the team, so they complement each other super, super well. And now let's go on to team number 14. Can still see six players left. 6 players left. We're nearly done with the Seat C now.
Indeed, and for this one, the 6th player, the loss of 6 is going to be none other than Black. So,
Okay, I've seen. So Black is kind of like, I think it's a mainly Rice player, or at least from the score that I've seen so far. One of the score that I saw from Black actually is a 1-200 FC on on Blue Planet. It's the beta tech map. So nearly being able to assess a beta tech map is going to be quite good. But I think they're mainly like a Rice player, but a very strong Rice player.
Yeah, and we do have the likes of Bronyo Zacic to balance the rest of the seed players on Team 14 as well. And that note, gonna be one of the finalists over in the Philippines Nationals, which, you know, is an annual thing that the Philippines community has every year for both 4-key and 7-key players. They're namely a Rice players, so both these players are basically very strong when it comes to Rice. So definitely look out for them if you pick out Rice against at least one of them. And it seems like Zacic is also capable of hybrids as well, so that's also a plus in that favor.
Yeah, it's not just a one skill set tool only for this team. And now let's move on to the last, the penultimate team for the CC. We still got quite 4 more players to go through. I see some names. I still see names that I recognize, and the player that's going to be picked for Team 15 is going to be Lassie Noki. I think it's a fellow Vietnamese player. I think this is actually going to be their first tournament of this ever. I don't think I've seen them in previous VNMCs, and they're going to be matched with AZU. I think I'll just take this one. To be honest, AZU. If you look at his profile, is the winner of the Aces Shuji Cup 1 as a CC. Huh. So you know, you got the returning. I think this is the only player who returned from the winning team, and they're like a really good SV, like lower, like early game player. And then you got Lassie Noki, who's a general good at mid game, provides some physicality as well. So in terms of mid and early game, they're definitely covered.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is definitely looking to be incredibly solid, especially with Azu coming back for vengeance to be able to try and claim yet another victory in the Asia Sushi Cup. This is definitely looking to be quite a strong team if all goes well for them. So, final team, Team 16 to sort out the Seed C players.
I wonder who's going to be. Wow, it's going to be so exciting. Oh, it's going to be
Cutie Vaxi.
Okay, I can.
And Swadif, the only option.
Swadif. Oh, what a shocker. And Cutie Vaxi. I'll take Cutie Vaxi because he's a fellow Vietnamese player. He's basically, I think he has gone through a bit of a glow up. He also has participated in last year Asia Sushi Cup, coming for a return and for vengeance now with a lot of improvement in long note, and also just being an all-rounder in like the late games, like being able to get really decent score in anything you throw at QT Vaxi. So definitely one of the more stand-up player in the C seed. And then we got Sawadif.
Yeah, Swaldif's looking a little interesting. They have some history within some of the more Chinese-oriented tournaments, basically. Basically having some history, having played in the Chinese Nationals in last year, and also Pianotal's Chinese Tournament 5, which is also yet another annual Chinese tournament that's hosted like each year. So hailing from Taiwan, they also have some pretty solid scores on the board as well to basically explain. They do appear to be pretty good at LN as well as Rice physicality. Gonna be just about Yurgure almost, or at least this clears from last year at the start of April. So definitely looking to be quite solid for both these players, and this is definitely quite a good team to round it out for a Team 16. So that said, this is all of our Seed C players sorted. We can now move on to these Seed B players, which are gonna be the mid-tier players that we got.
Yeah, quite a lot. Now we're getting to players that you will definitely recognize. You can just see the names right here. Some absolutely crazy players on the list. Tournament active players, accuracy players. We're getting to the scary scenes now. And let's go straight into the drawing for the first team of Seed B. And there we're okay, so I think we should be able to see the previous teams as well. Okay, so joining Just Some Guy 97 and Snowy is going to be... Drum roll, please. Oh, it's going to be Isari Fanboy. I think otherwise known as Maroni, if I remember correctly. And the other player...
Prodian! No way!
Oh my god, what is this?
Yo.
Okay, I'll cover the first player. So, Easery fanboy, otherwise known as I said before, Maroni, played in the previous Asia Sushi Cup as a C seed. Now they got a bit of promotion up to B seed, a Tachyon Yami player, being able to play basically anything, mainly in accuracy and long note player. So this is getting scary now, and you got Progean Sucks. I think quite a familiar face within the Mania scene, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Prodian I definitely recognize for having played in the Malaysian tournament last year, and they also played in MWC for the Malaysian team last year as well. They're basically mainly of a Rice player, but their Rice is definitely shown to be incredible in terms of what they've got to offer, and they also have some LN to be able to prove the backbone in their favor. So definitely looking to be a very solid team to complement that of just some guy 97 and Snowy right here. So this is looking saucy right now.
Saucy, indeed. And let's move on to the second team of the Seed B. My God, it's alright. I'm feeling the hype already, and now we're just getting even more hyped. This team, you got Amano Hina, Youngjun Yu fanboy, and joining them is going to be Shizuku09. And joining Shizuku is going to be.
It's gonna be just P.
Okay, I recognize both these players. So let's just cover Shizuku first. So Shizuku is known to be a very strong player within the Chinese media scene, and apparently in the QQ division, so that's the Chinese player only division, he got 6th place in GBC 2025 Spring. So that's something. And then you get just P. So I'm just gonna take him as well. I'm sorry, but I'm quite hyped about this guy. This guy is kind of the up-and-coming tournament player within the Vietnamese scene. So he's the winner of the 4-digit Vietnamese Mania World Cup, absolutely dominating. Was undefeated throughout the tournament, seed number 1 that as well, and has been kind of a really good all-rounded player. So you got a physicality player and an all-rounded early to mid-game player. What else can you ask for the B seed?
I mean, honestly, this is looking to be a really good seed beats roster for Team O2 as well. So definitely gonna keep watch for this team, especially as a compliment that I've had Manohina and Young Jongnu fanboy as well. So Team O3 is next in line. There's still quite a bunch of names that we gotta clear off from the Seed B roster that we've got. I do wonder who's going to be going into this one, because there's quite a plethora of options to go through, in which right here it turns out it's going to be Aaron Zhang, not going to be Nick Kasume right in this moment, but joining alongside Aaron Zhang right here is going to be none other than Poppy. Okay, I know this guy.
Okay, so to briefly go over Aaron Zhang. I think this is their first time playing in the tournament, but there definitely has played a lot in the leaderboard, and then they're super active. A lot of SS throughout the leaderboard, and of course they're more of an LN-based player, getting kind of good scores on Clover, top 50 on the Commissar Clover, and kind of really strong score in the LN Master Div as well. So, and they can play like really late game stuff. So they got a pretty decent score on Staple and Smurf 1.15. That's some really late game stuff right there. And of course you got Poppy. Take it away.
Oh yeah, Poppy's definitely a bit of an interesting profile here, so to say. They hail from Hong Kong, and I've seen them in a few tournaments. I know that I've commentated with them in Solo Skull Rush like quite a bunch of times earlier on, but it does seem like they're a pretty solid player as well, especially in the LN category, where they have played and qualified for the Oceanian LN tournament 4th edition earlier on, albeit not being able to get through the tournament like as far as, you know, initially expected. But regardless of which, this is still looking to be a very good team, regardless of which, especially in collaboration with the Seed C players here, which is RIP MSCR 7 and Rayo 9.
Yeah, for sure. Let's move on to the 4th team. I said before, everyone here is absolutely correct. Oh, this team! Oh, okay. I'm excited to see who's in kind of team number 4 here. First player is Oh, oh,
Oh,
okay.
all
Okay, we
right.
got Nikumi. I guess that's how you say it. Nikumi.
Nikusume.
Okay, I think you can cover it. I'm not too familiar with this player. And then you got GBTH3. Okay, this is a very scary lineup. Take it away. Take
All
it away.
right. All right. So Nikasume, hailing from the Lettuce Squad, this is gonna be another Japanese player, or at least probably the first one the way I've seen coming into this tournament. They're a bit more of a recent player. They only joined last year, back in July, basically when the first iteration of this tournament was happening. But they have proven to become a very good player within their own right, especially within the Japanese scene itself, where they have like played in a few tournaments, getting at least some very good scores. They have gotten into the LN4 tournament, and they've basically thrashed quite a bunch of players, but they've improved super quickly, and they are a very physical player, having gotten 97% on reform overall, as well as some really solid scores on maps such as Poetic Edda, for example, which is, it's the one ranked map. If you know what it is, you'll know that it's literally a hell of a gauntlet in terms of like Rice physicality. So definitely someone not to scoff at right here.
Yeah, and then the complementing factor of GBTH Fury. Very strong, very good balance of Rice and Ellen. Now is a tester in the GB Cup. You can see they're more of an accuracy-orientated player, playing a lot of early to mid-game things. So, again, this is such a good complementary players for Seed B. And with that, we shall move on to the 5th team of the Seed B. My god, what are these teams, my guy? Okay, so joining in Usyk and Damongus 179. First player is going to be Paracosm. I think this is like the highest ranked player in adjusted rank in the B seed. So that's something to take away. And then you got Ye. So I'll take Paracosm. I think Paracosm is a Philippine nationals player, a semi-finalist in the Philippines national. As I said before, known to be quite a stacked tournament. Actually, both of these players are Philippines, D8 and Paracosm. I just forgot about that. But I think they're more of a hybrid Rice player, as I said before. Quite known within the Philippine scene. And then you got DA.
Yeah, for what I'm seeing here, DA is a bit more of an Ellen specialist in comparison to, Rice and hybrids for that matter. They can play hybrids to some extent, but basically mainly strong and best well versed within the Ellen category alone. So that's a contrast with Paracosm is really good because it basically is able to prove that they're a fairly balanced Seed B team overall. You can basically just throw anything at them and they'll be able to swap out for each other regardless of which the situation is. And this is going to be a really good thing for when you are like in a match against them, or at least when they are in a match, because they're going to need that variety intact to be able to face off against, other teams, which will probably have as much variety as they will.
Yeah, that's for sure. And let's move on to the 6th team of this tournament. Let's see who's going to join. I can't read. It's going to be Kapu, Fanboy, and Moki. First player is going to be Alec. I think if on top of my memory, I think they're a Taiwanese player. I'm not sure. Yeah, Taiwanese player. Let's just wait for the next player. Then we can do some sort of analysis. Crimson Knight.
Crimson Knight.
Okay, I'll take the first player. So Alec is based on kind of their leaderboard experience. They are a well-rounded player. So many SS throughout the kind of recent history, and so this is their pin score is a 96% on a map in Road to Epsilon pack. I think that's all I need to say about that. And let's move on to Crimson Knight.
Yeah, Crimson Knight is also fairly solid as well. Yet another Australian player, very prolific within their own field, as well as they are top 20 in that country as well. It definitely seems like they have some pretty good pin scores as well, namely within ranked map, but they have just about 980k on Drenched in Air, which was one of the tiebreakers back in MWC 2023, and they also have a pretty almost 990k on Weenie Walker. So obviously both maps by Mint, except one of them is a collab. So yeah.
Wow, and now let's move on to the team number 7 for the B seeded. Still, we got quite a lot of stacked players to go through. Let's get on straight to it. First player is going to be Snowist. Okay, I've seen this player quite a bit, so around in the quite active in the chat, so I'll cover him in a bit.
And then you get William.
Okay, Snowist, I think they're kind of well known to be an all-rounder actor and definitely has some tournament experiences before. I saw this is quite a strong players, to be honest. I've seen their scores up there, but kind of another, I guess one key score I want to point out is the Blue Nation 1.1 double S. I think they're in the top 50 somewhere. Okay, so they're in the number 27 in Blue Nation, so very good kind of accuracy to boot as well. And you got Lau William. The chat is going absolutely mental on Lau right now.
Is it? Oh my goodness. That's crazy. I mean, especially when you have a whole community that's going to be familiar with like a variety of these players, you're rest assured that the chat's going to go crazy over some of them. But that said, Lowell William definitely looks to be a very good profile as well for this team to add to the mix. They have very physical scores on the board, and it does seem like they're mainly a bit of a damn player, as we can see from their pin scores here. They actually have a pin score on Fractal Vertex, which was the grand final tiebreaker of NWC last year. So almost 96% on that, and that so probably not like as fared on, you know, typical tournament hybrids or tiebreakers as I feel like most players would probably be accustomed to, but the physicality it should make up for it, especially within the Rice category.
Yeah, again, you got physicality and all-rounder lineup here. As I think this is kind of like a common theme within kind of tournament in Asia Suji Cup, is that you usually don't have to play with the same profile because of how diverse the player pools are. And with that, let's move on to kind of the halfway mark. Team number 8. They're going to be joining with Gold Pavilion and Shida. Okay, so again, we talked quite a lot about the CC, but let's see who's going to be joining them. Okay, it's going to be M1K. I can probably cover this person in a bit, but let's move on to the next players.
Alright, who gets here? Duckies! No way! Oh, okay. Alright.
Okay, so M1K, South Korean player, only joined, I just joined in July 2024. Right now we're in October 2025, and he's a 4K Delta in Yami with an insane accuracy kind of set as well. So quite a lot of top 10, top 20s, and some top 50s on like quite popular maps. So this player, quite good. They're pretty good. They're kind of good at the game. And of course, you got Duckies.
Yeah, Duckies is yet another player that I recognize. Also being a bit known for mapping here and there, but their playing ability is definitely quite interesting from what I can see here. So some very interesting maps that I can see in their pin scores. Going to be some of these really physical maps. We have Hurricanic, almost 97% on that, and we also have a Flashlight. Is that an FC on the Parallax 2 Future Sequence? The Phil and Zio style map. That's literally an entire album. That's a whole hour long. And oh wait, no, they got 6 misses on that, but they played it with Flashlight still. That's actually insane when you put it in perspective.
And now let's go on to, we're past the halfway point now. Let's go on to the next team number 9. We're going to be joining Villanescent and Sunny Yoni. It's going to be, drum roll please, GS Thanachon. Okay, I think I recognized him. Yeah.
This guy was in 40M. I played against him in my match.
Okay, wow. You can take the analysis then, and of course. Oh boy! Oh, okay. Okay, you can take Tennochot first then.
Yeah, Fanachaw is fairly well balanced as a player based off what I remember. I know that Fanachaw is definitely quite good when it comes to early to mid game LN and Rice for that matter. I do know that back in 40M they were one of the carries of that scene when my team faced them during the 24 iteration. But that basically goes to show that they basically know what they're doing. They know what it takes to at least get things intact, and they also have quite a good repertoire of scores to back it up as well. They definitely a very strong accuracy player as well. They have a sub 400 perfect SS on We Still Love Perfume category by GS Hina, the ranked map. So, or well, it's a collab between. Yeah, no, it's GS Hina's map. Yeah, definitely interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, and now we have Kirkhoff as well. Kind of a well-known 4-digit Chinese player. They also has played in the 4-digit mania scene, quite strong in the accuracy side of things as well. These two are kind of tournament players, and now we kind of see the thematic scenes in like the B-seeded player where they're like really strong players with high physicality, or like tournament players, tournament savants in here. And there we go, Thanachart and Kirkhoff rounding off the B seed. Let's go on to team number 10.
Yeah, once again, this is the team with Diamond Pumpkin and New Dragon. So we did talk about how good that duo was when it came to the Seed C teams. And to be able to add fuel to the fire, we have Lastic Diary. Dude, what is his name? What?
I'm just gonna say Lasting now. I'm just gonna say Lasting. It is what a name. And they're gonna be joined by Luxun Osu. I think both of these, from like the previous team, how you had like a tournament team player, these two are more of like a leaderboard player with have their both of their first time playing. So I'm gonna say Lasting for now. I don't want to say the last word, I'll be honest. They're in the 300G team. So the team that's well known for kind of doing accuracy, and they're on the accuracy grind right now, and they're quite they're quite a strong player. 98% on the Delta Tech map Crescent Moon 1.08. So you know that's something to take note of.
Yeah, and as for Luxun as well, they're a fairly recent player as well. They joined just about the start of March last year in 2024. They've proven to have some pretty good scores. They are top 10 in the rankings for Malaysia as a country alone. Gonna be top 300k global. So gonna have some pretty physical scores here and there. They have a clear on Takayon V3. And also a bunch of pretty solid scores on Delta as well. So definitely look out for this player. They're definitely looking to be a bit of a physical Rice player. And especially to complement that with Diamond Pumpkin, which we've seen is also pretty good at Rice as well as New Dragon. This is definitely looking to be quite a solid team if it all goes well.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's something about the unknown factor kept adding the extra excitement as well. This tournament is already like quite random. I mean, it's literally Suji means random, and now you got two unknown players without a tournament history coming in here. This can be anything. I'm not sure what to expect. And now let's go into team number 11. Still got quite a lot of players in here. I think we still got 10 more players, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 10 more players.
Yeah. And to start this trend off for the final 10 players to be decided, it's going to be Hulk Frost in Team 11. So, okay. Interesting one. Interesting name.
Okay, well, I can talk about it in a bit. But let's wait for... It's going to be normal. Okay, so you got the Southeast Asian duo, the Vietnamese player and the Thai player. Hulk Frost, well known within the Vietnamese scene. Goated accuracy. I think from what someone said, their Jack accuracy can rival the likes of Chi Duan. So that by itself is already very scary, and they're pretty much like an all-rounded player as well, Delta / Yume player. So yeah, this is an all-rounded player if I haven't seen one yet.
Yep, and Normai is also yet another recent Thailand player as well, having joined just about the end of January 2024. Looking to be a very physical player as well. They have a bunch of scores on Epsilon, and they also had gotten an S rank on Epsilon on 0.95x rate. So slightly nerfed, but at the same time, still just about very high in difficulty. So that alone should definitely spell the difficulty, or at least what Normai is going to be capable of in terms of physicality. I'm not sure how they're going to fare into the terms when it comes to some of the more like physical tournament maps, because obviously they're quite different when it comes to, well, those types of Dan maps in general, but this is still looking really solid as a team regardless of which.
Yeah, that's for sure. Let's move on to team number 12. Okay, okay, so they're gonna be joining in Pivot's team. This is really quite a strong C-seeded team. Let's see who's going to be joining in these groups. It's going to be Zonio Zero. I think that's how you say it.
I think so, yeah. Zonio's
okay.
Bro, I'm struggling. What? I thought I was good at
Zonio
English.
Zero.
What? Zonio's Zero.
Okay, and it's going to be joined by civilians. So Zonio Zero, I think they're an Indonesian player. Not a lot is known about this player, to be honest. I think they're. Oh wait. I hope this is younger. If it's younger, it's going to be so hyped. I really hope it's younger, because I'm going to assume it's younger. And younger is quite a well-known like tournament player within Indonesia. And I'm so excited. If it's younger, then like he's a basically all-round player who played in the previous Asia Shuji Cup. Okay, it is younger. My friend from a long time ago, long-known friend. I'm so excited to see him playing in this tournament. And now it's joined by Civilian.
Yeah, Civilian is also looking to be very strong. From what I can see here, they were 6th seed back in the GBC 2024 Autumn Tournament. So yeah, their SV is looking to be very strong. So that's also another niche that you're going to need to cover with your teams one way or another. So definitely looking to be really important and crucial, because we still have SV maps in the tournament, as much like last year, albeit there's only one of them intact, which, you know, I doubt they're bannable, right? As far as my memory goes.
It's not bannable. Yeah. So it's a free point. It's basically a free point.
Yeah, exactly. Like you need your SV players in your team no matter what. So yeah, team 13, 3 teams to go for the seed Bs.
Yeah, 4 teams to go. 4 teams. 4 more teams to go. 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, 4 teams to go. 4 teams to go. The last quarter of seed B. The first player is going to be BC1 CI9, Vietnamese player. So I think I know quite a few things about this person.
I've seen him in some tournaments. I feel like I've seen them in Winter Oceanic Grand Slam, if I'm not mistaken. And team, what?
Oh, this is like oh boy. Okay, let's calm down the hype and let's first talk about BC1 first. BC1 is a pretty consistent player. Like I think the one thing I would say is BC1 does not have a weakness, so they can play quite basically anything that they can. Throw anything at BC1, they can probably play it from like early game to late game. They're a strong they're just a strong fundamental. But I just see the second player of Seed B, I don't know what to say. So take it away, Epic Man.
MT is yet another player that is part of the winning team from the previous Asia Suiji Cup iteration, but they've also won a few other tournaments as well to be able to prove their fighting chance and their worth as part of the Chinese scene. So having won 4DM 2023 and also GBC 2022 Autumn, this is definitely looking to be a very solid player. They are very, very capable when it comes to LN maps in general. And they're basically very good at hypers as well. So good physicality to wrap this Seed B team up. And if CGP and Korn very well, because as far as I remember, we did tap on them being like also covering the Rice, Ellen, and hypers very well in their own ways as well, right?
Yep. Yeah. So They basically cover each other as much as they can. So yeah, this BC the team, BC1 already is quite a strong player, but it had an MTY. I mean, good luck with that. And let's move on to team number 14. We got 6 more players to go, and I can still see some crazy names in here still. And let's go to the first player of team 14. It's going to be Wolves. I'll just say Wolf for now. I'm so sorry. He's literally a Wolfesh. Yeah, Vietnamese player. Yeah. We'll cover him in a bit. But I thought it's gonna be Rantap fanboy for a second. Then that'll be a double Vietnamese player, but it's gonna be team up with Sakuragi. So Wolfesh, quite another well-known Vietnamese player. Very active in VNMC. Can literally, I said before, who can literally play anything. Super well-rounded. I think they were in top 6 in the VNMC 2025 in the latest VNMC, or like top 8 or top 6 in like a very stacked Vietnamese tournament. So it's quite good at the game. And joining Wolfesh is Sakuragi.
Yeah, Sakuragi is definitely quite the interesting one as well. I don't really know way too much about them myself, or at least like within tournament scene, but from what I can see here, they're looking to be fairly solid. They have a SS on... They have a V1 SS on Highlottle's Pure Ruby map from their Ellen Collection map, and that one definitely looks to be quite difficult. They also have some other scores here and there, but from what I can see, I do assume that they're going to be a pretty good team for Team 14, regardless of which.
Yeah, that's for sure. And let's move on to the next team, Team 15. Okay, joining in Lasinoki and AZU, it's going to be, let's wait and see.
R-Trigger.
R-Trigger. Okay, R-Trigger. And joining in for R-Trigger is going to be, drum roll please.
It's going to be Ling Yu. Okay,
so the Chinese player duo, so not much known is with the player R-Trigger. Well-known mapper for sure. Think of it's dual 7-key, 4-key player, if I remember correctly. But other than that, they don't have any pin score. So it's not much known about R-Trigger. They're around rank 500 in the 4-key, so that's like nearly page 1 Chinese player. Page 1, when page 1 4K. And with these dual 4K, 7K players, there's something about them being super adaptable in a lot of these maps.
Yeah, absolutely. And as for Ling Yu as well, there's just some information that's at least provided about them, where it seems like Ling Yu only just passed Delta, and they also got second place in GPC 2024 Autumn, where they were teamed up with Parasol Trees. So yet another very super well-known Chinese player. They also hail from China themselves, as they are part of GB nonetheless. And yeah, very interesting profile to see here, and I think it's pretty obvious that what the two players are going to be for the final team to wrap it up for the CDs. Yeah, so we're nearly done, guys. We're nearly done. Don't worry.
Yeah, now we're getting onto the saucy stuff in a bit, but let's move on to the last two players. Rantap Fanboy. Okay, definitely know quite a few things about this person, so let's cover him in a bit. And we got Midred. So Rantap Fanboy is a Vietnamese player. Kind of had a huge glow up in the past 12 months. Now they've become a well-known kind of all-rounded player, can play literally anything. And I've mentioned Just P winning in the 4-digit Vietnamese Mania World Cup. He is the top 2 player, just only losing to Just P, but still such a strong tournament player. And he's going to be paired with Midred.
Yeah, Midred, I've namely seen mid-red when it comes to a bunch of tournaments, when it comes to at least the streaming side of things, because you know we wouldn't be able to have tournaments, or at least we wouldn't be able to have streams like this where we would be able to showcase what's going on without people like mid-red. But besides from that, they are very good at playing as well. They had one GPC 2023 Autumn as well. They're also very good when it comes to Jack ratio and SV skill within the early to mid game, maybe. So they do like kind of fall capped at the late game side of things, but at the same time, I do feel one thing's for sure: they should be good enough to cover for when it comes to the late game for the majority of whoever we're going to be having for Team 16 in question.
Yeah, that's for sure. Joining in with that, let's go on to what everyone's been waiting for. The A-seeded. This is the cream of the crop, probably the best of them all. Let's just have the list of players. Streamer, we can just see. Just look at that list. Where are the weaknesses?
Dude, this is looking really scary. It's literally just going to bump up each team by quite a big margin. That's something scary. Oh my god.
Yeah. Let's go straight into the AC. Let's go straight to the AC because I just see who's in who's in which team. The first A-seeded player in Team 1.
I'm scared. It's Plana!
Oh my god. Okay, let's see who's the next player.
Alright, joining alongside Plana is gonna be none other than Pin. Alright.
Oh shoot, okay. Okay, so Plana, first of all, high physicality player, semi-finalist in Mania World Cup, long note hybrid player, and they are super good in early to mid game kind of ratios for everything in kind of the early stage. And then you got Pin.
Pin hailing from South Korea once again. They are another all-rounder. They're not like accuracy isn't their strongest suit, but regardless of which, they are a very all-rounded player. So that's going to even out all the losses that this team has, and it's going to make them all the more powerful, because this is literally something that this is something that's going to be really important for this team to keep intact, because they namely play on ranked maps. I haven't really seen Pin in a bunch of tournaments so far, but their processing ability is really good. So that's going to be something really important for all these players to have intact, really, especially to complement that of Plana, which, is literally one of the top LN players over in the Philippines. So they literally need no introduction right here as we go into Team 02 here.
Yeah, that's for sure. And let's go to the second team. Wow. Okay, we're just gonna continue glazing all of these players, by the way, because these players are absolutely insane. They deserve all of the glazing. And let's see. Okay, it's going to be Fear. Fire. Yeah, I know. Fire pick for sure. From Indonesia. We'll cover it in a bit after we see who's he teaming up with.
Still no. All right. Okay.
So Fear or Fieri, kind of an up and coming Indonesia player. I think they were semi-finalists in the Indonesia team. Very strong Rice player. Like they have the same Rice ability of the likes of Adiza, Albert, and Ray. Like they were key cornerstone in the Indonesia team that made it into the top 8 of Mania World Cup. Insane Rice accuracy player. And then to join Pierre is going to be Silicosis 2.
Silicosis 2 literally needs zero introduction. They have what it takes to play Ellen, and they also have the SV capability as well. Literally, probably the crew K of the Philippines, arguably. Like, especially when you have the likes of Amano Hina as well, it really evens out the whole team as well, just making them very formidable force when it comes to at least the first initial 2 players. I feel like, in general, this team's really looking to be very strong, especially on the Rice category with, Fear on the top as well. They were mentioned to be on the same caliber as players such as Adiza and Ray, for example, which, They basically helped carry the Indonesians to get the top 3 podium back in MWC in 2023. So that should basically spell it for this team, and that this is going to be quite the biggest threat for a majority of the teams around.
Yeah, that's for sure. Let's move on to the next team. Oh my god. Like, we're only 2 teams in, and there's so many talking points. Okay, this team's already quite stacked, I'll be honest. And now who's going to be joining them?
Oh god. Wait, don't tell me.
Oh no!
No! Oh!
Oh, this is saucy. This is so saucy. Let's move on to the next player. Oh, this team is going to be so strong already. There's no way, right? Okay, so he's gonna have. Oh, imagine Zidane, but still, quite a strong set of teams right here. Just imagine. Still, anyone in AC is just super strong. So let's first talk about the. I don't know what high. That's not much introduction needed for I don't know what high, to be honest. The Mania World Cup Chinese player, extremely strong Rise player. I'll be honest with you, and there's just nothing more about this. I mean, you can just see his score. Super late game, basically can add Epsilon stuff, which is like, who does that? Well, apparently it's I don't know what high who can does that. And joining them is actually going to be Robbie.
Yeah, Robbie, definitely a bit of an interesting one. I haven't really seen them much myself when it comes to tournaments, but from what I can see here, they are a pretty all-rounded player from what is suggested off the sheet alone. So with that in tag, it does seem like they have quite a bit of scores that they've got on their top scores. They have just about almost a 1 million SS on Vend, which is the ranked by Tails DK from years ago. That's a long and dense core jack marathon. So very dense consistency test. And they also have just about almost 998k on Little Girl Goodbye.raw by Pencil, map by Monheim, I believe. This is a pretty old love map, but it's really physical at that on 1.3x rate.
Jesus. Okay, quite a strong player, I'll be honest. And now let's go on to the next team. Team number 4. Okay, so I think... Okay, so... Oh, this is the Nikumi team with Fellas. Okay.
Oh god,
okay.
Don't tell me.
Oh boy.
No. Live it!
Oh, you can live it! Okay!
Huh?
Oh boy, oh boy.
Alright,
Ring the alarm bells. Ring the alarm bells.
And the second one. It's it!
Oh no. Oh my god, this team! What is this team? What is this team? Okay, so let's briefly talk about Vivid Plus first. All-rounder, kept the mainstay within the Mania World Cup team in the Philippines. Super competitive in Beta City, all skill set. Lots of accuracy, good accuracy in general. And then you got Zidane!
Bro, this team is genuinely messed up. There's no way. Seed 8's duo is brutal, especially with the likes of, at least complimenting the likes of Nikasume and also Isaac Wine Fellas F9, as well as TH Ferry. This is looking to be a very scary and dominant team, especially for being all-rounded in general. This basically has all the checks checked out for what you'd need as requirements to go into the tournament. You need that LM defense, you need that hybrid combat, and you also need the Rice power and the physicality to make it through. And all these players basically are just the embodiment of that. So gonna be really cool to see this team playing in the fray here, and we can move on to Team 05 right now.
Wow, what a legendary refresh pool right there. And now, oh, this team is also quite strong as well.
Oh,
let's see it.
On. Ashy,
okay. Well, Ashy kind of a newcomer within the Mania scene, but a top Thailand player and insanely rounded in all skill set, mainly in Rice. So if they have some, oh no,
oh no, are you serious?
Oh my god. What?
No way! You're serious?
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Lucky.
I mean, this is just tough. This is the strongest player Well, one of the strongest player in Mania in general. This is the legendary Thailand duo right here, Aki and Konkawi, coming in. Not much more to be said. You got the double Thailand in Seed A, the double Philippines in Seed B. Then you got Usyk and Demongus filling out the bottom seed. This is looking to be a really, really scary team.
Dude, it's literally just the Seed A teams in general. It's literally just equivalent to that of getting the most mythical pulls out of a random gacha, and you just get like the most overpowered options as well. Like, bro,
you got the SSR. Congratulations to Team 5.
Konkawi is literally just SSR Super Creek or something. Anyways, Team 06, we got that in the bag. Let's see what else is gonna be here. So
yeah, that's okay. So you got
Alex who's a nice game.
Yeah, this is quite a strong team already, to be honest. And it's going to be Volpsy. Okay,
all right.
This is actually like Volpsy hasn't been around for like the modern scene kind of things, but yeah, he did play in Mania World Cup. He did play Mania World Cup, and he's going to be joining Unitary. Okay, this is so underrated. That is so underrated. I feel like lots of people are gonna like look over at this team, but then you got Volpsy, kind of the all rounder, but definitely more Rise orientated, and then you get Unitary, kind of one of the strongest Ellen player within the Middle Eastern region. So these two players are a perfect complement of each other, and this is what we kind of need in these stories that can just not have like two players that both rise, because for Seed A you cannot have two Seed A's play in the same match. You have to summon for each other. So this is such a good kind of pairing of these two players, and then you got the really solid Seed B and Seed C to help out ourselves. So this team, very underrated in my opinion. Very, very underrated already so far.
Yeah, very solid. Yeah, very solid team overall, and we still got just about another team, Team 07, to look over. So we've seen it time and time again with how crazy these teams have been getting, and this one's also looking to be quite strong as well, as we have Karumu and Lal William like in the team as well. So here in the A team, here is to be decided is going to be Hato. All right.
Yeah, I think quite a underground South Korean 4K player, which is such a scary phrase to say. South Korea, an underground player. There's just so many of them going around. And then you got God joining you. You got a God joining you in the team. It's pretty much over. But let's briefly go over these two players. So Hato, extremely good in physicality. They have like a good kind of set of skills as well in general. I think they're really competitive on the leaderboards, if I remember correctly. But definitely more of a late game player. And then you're joined by Mania Degen God.
Yeah, Mania Degen God is also looking to be incredibly solid. They have played in the Philippines Nationals as well as being another pure Ellen specialist. So I swear they've got the same description as another player earlier on. I'm so confused on like what this is, but from what it's saying here, it says that they're capable on hybrids basically, but they can't be pushed like way too hard because then they'll skill cap. So that's definitely one thing to look out for. But at the same time, regardless of which, this is still an incredibly strong team to round it out as well. So yep, let's go.
No weaknesses at all. And let's move on to Seed A. I was like Team 8. Okay, so you got the M1K Gold Pavilion and Duckies and Sheena right here. And joining them, it's Valeria! It is Valeria! Okay. Potentially mythical pool right here. Let's see who's going to be joining Valeria.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Wait. I can't jinx it.
So funny. If it's Silicosis, it's gonna be so funny. My god. Oh my god. This team is so strong. Okay, so oh god. Okay, so first of all, Valeria, Rice specialist within the Philippine national team, can play hybrid, can excel once in a while. A semi-finalist within MWC and finalist within the Philippines national. And joining Valeria is Jokey.
So this one's going to be a player from New Zealand. So one of the top players over in that region. That's going to be relatively interesting to see over in this economy. And their main skill set revolves around Rice having exceptional control and physicality, and as well as being pretty decent at the other skill sets as well. So basically what you need, as long as basically looking to be a very solid team A for this team specifically. Valeria, I know, can cover the island maps as very well. So this is able to at least balance out with Joki here, who can cover the Rice maps just as well. So it's really just about having to find the middle ground with covering the hybrids, and then this team should be solid as gold.
I'll be honest. Like the description I've written for Joki is really not doing well. To be honest, he is the best Vietnamese player. He used to be a Vietnamese. He moved to New Zealand, but he is the best Vietnamese player to come out since Cheat-On Gaming. Like it is insane. This is probably a super well-rounded player. So yeah, quite strong AC. I'll be honest. And let's move on to team number 9.
We're halfway there with this heat, with the seed A's. We're nearly done with all the team rollouts. So we got this team, and it's already looking to be really solid with Sunny Yoni and Finacha in this one as well. It's going to be Matcha Latte joining this one. Going to be yet another Thailand player joining the fray for Team 09 as we roll out the second player to round the seed A player list off for here. And joining along the likes of Matcha Latte is going to be none other than Silicosis. Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Here we go. We did it. It's
the Silicosis mentioned. Silicosis mentioned. I repeat, Silicosis has been mentioned, but let's talk about Matcha Latte in general.
On that Switch chat. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the Twitch chat is going absolutely wild, and so am I as a Matcha Latte. Finalist in MWC, a very good LN Rice player. Has a huge pop-up from last year. Last year they didn't do too well in ASC, mainly because of RNG, but now they're seed A and they're joined by the one and only Silicosis. Say anything more to be said about Silicosis?
I mean,
apart from
streets
he's really
know
ET.
him. Literally all the owls in the woods know who Silicosis is. You know who he is. Silicosis knows who he is. We can move on.
The streets won't forget about him. Let's move on to the next team. But there's a lot already been said about Silicosis, so we'll save the words in the next when we get to talk about him in qualifiers and future matches. And now let's move on to the lasting team. This could be a fan favorite team, but the name is going to be Akito, another strong Thai player. Quite a lot of Thai players are in the AC that I just realized. But let's move on to kind of the next player who's going to be joining Aquino.
Alright, and right here it's gonna be none other than what we see is gonna be Stereotype.
Oh god.
Oh, okay, this is looking to be a very spicy seed A team. Machino, definitely one of the main carriers over in the Thai scene for when it comes to tournament play. And Stereotype, otherwise known as Salutation, is also incredible when it comes to play LNs and hybrids. Their LN actually is something that you should definitely just look out for, going into the early game, because literally if you were to see some of his scores that he's been setting, especially in the LN4 tournament, you'll literally see this and you'll just start crapping your pants right away. This guy is crazy at what he does. Literally look out for this team. This is already looking insane.
Yeah, that's for sure. You got kind of the unknown factor of Seed B, and then you got Seed C, which is quite solid already with Diamond Pumpkin and New Dragon. And then to top off with the accuracy and well-roundedness of Seed A, this is a strong team to go into as well. And now let's move on to team number 11. We're nearly there at the end, guys. We're nearly there at the end. We're nearly 1 hour happened, but there's still some more players to pick. This team with Hot Forest, No More Opigen, Hextep. Again, there's so many teams that are solid in here. And joining them is going to be Tosai. Really well-known Malaysian player, if I remember correctly. And let's see who's going to be joining with Tosai. Who's so funny? It's fast. My god!
APQ. APQ.
Okay, another Malaysian player, right? This is both Malaysian. They're both Malaysians, right? Right?
I think so. I mean,
I think they're. Yeah, I think they're both Malaysians. Yeah, double Malaysian lineup. Tosai, I mean, quite well known within the NWC scene. Remember from 2023 to 2025, all-rounder, exceptional SV skills, and has competed
Oh,
in
yeah.
various community tournaments. And then you got APQ to join as well.
Yeah, APQ is definitely very solid as a Malaysian player as well, being able to round it out for this team as well. So being able to have him coincide with the likes of Tosai here is going to be crazy to think about, because when you have like literally a player that even the SV category is scared of, you have another player that's able to round it off and be able to provide similar abilities or basically reciprocating such efforts in when it comes to some of the regular maps in which this guy has been prevalent in some other tournaments as well, such as Tahoe Mania Cup 4 back in quarterfinals, and also ASC Madness 2, having reached semifinals, Dan. So definitely very, very solid duo to have in the Seed A for this team. And there's still quite a bunch of players that we got to round out for the rest of the teams here, which there's only just about 4 of them left on the board after this one. Five. Yeah,
5 teams. Yeah, 5 teams. Okay. Okay. This is the pure team. Oh boy. Okay.
Oh god.
So this is already having a really strong CC. Let's see who they got. It will be somebody's poker.
Hunger. You're serious?
Okay.
No.
Okay. Yeah. The Thailand fan favorite team right here, player right here. Farpong is super well rounded. I'll save the words when we get another player as well.
No, wait, don't tell me.
No.
It's J-Line.
No. Oh no.
What is this duo?
What is this team? Oh hell nah. Hell no, man.
Oh my god. Diabolical
AC, Power Poker, Rice play, some of the strongest Rice player, and then you got J-Line, who made it into the top 6 of the also made it LN4 tournament. What?
J-Line's just been every players in the Malaysian team as well in MWC, and being able to show their prowess when it comes to Ellen as well, and coinciding with Parponga, who is basically just as strong as them in Ellen as well. This is literally double trouble in the making. This is your explosion. This is literally gonna make this whole tournament directed by Michael Bay, bro. Like, I'm not joking. Like, look at this. Watch this.
Cinema.
It's insane.
Let's move on to the last quarter of teams. There's still so many names to even look at. You can still see there's Bushchat, Poker, Vast. Okay, this is MTY's team. Oh no.
No.
Scared.
Don't tell me. It's
going to be. Okay. Let's see who's gonna be joining Vast. It's pretty scary, I'll be honest.
I'm scared. I'm actually genuinely scared. I'm fearing for my life right here. There's only one player that can join alongside the likes of Vost here, and if it's...
Oh no.
Oh my god! Chan! Oh my god!
This is another mythical pool, I have to say so. Vast, strong Rise and Hybrid player. Very much like the physicality player. Within the Malaysian scene. I'm sure lots of people do know about this. And then, you know, maybe some weakness in hybrid longer. Fear no more, because you've got Bushchan, kind of like one of the best LN hybrid player out there in accuracy and in late game. And then they're joined by MTY.
Yep, that is honestly looking to be one of the scariest teams that we've got going into this whole tournament, or at least like scary team for the late game, because you already have one of the players that has just championed their way into winning the previous iteration, but you have the extra spines provided by the likes of Bushchan, Vost, and also Karonkun. So this is looking to be an incredible team, and I can't wait to see how this one's going to be performing. Team 14, we're almost there.
Okay, and Poker April will happen. Konkawa said he'll be screaming until my neighbor come and kick me. Let's see if that's gonna happen, because it's still very likely. There's only 6 players left. The first player is going to be Lea Kim.
Alright.
Okay, I think it's a Korean accuracy savant, I have to say so. So let's see who else is going to be joining Lea Kim here.
Yeah. Very interesting choice for Leia Kim to be in this team, and they're gonna be.
Oh,
No!
oh boy.
Okay, all right.
Okay. The love cheese coming in as well. Okay. Let's firstly talk about Leia Kim, up and coming South Korean player, and their accuracy, their early game accuracy is what to be noted of. 117 first place ranks. Like, you cannot get any more accuracy. You cannot get any more accuracy orientated than that. And then you get Veloci.
Yeah, Velosa is definitely an incredible profile within Taiwan as well. Ever since I faced them back in 40M last year, they've improved significantly to a point where they're literally the person that can destroy so many players, and they have been doing it in a bunch of tournaments as well. They've been doing it in MWC, they've been doing it over in the LN4 tournament as well. Mind you, Veloz literally almost beat Muchi in LN4 back at the quarterfinals. That should tell you how scary this guy has gotten. Even if you're literally rusty, this player is going to be the one that knocks you off your socks. Watch out for this team, genuinely.
Yeah, that's for sure. And now got 2 more teams to go. There's still April. Yeah, Rekover and Poker. Oh my god. Okay, let's see who's going to be joining.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Poker and April might be happening.
Oh my goodness. It's gonna be Poker.
Well, it's going to be Poker. Not much more needs to be said about Poker, I'll be honest about you. Head up the South Korean
legend
goat.
right here.
Yeah, the South Korean goat. And let's see who's going to be joining Poker at the ASC.
No.
It's April! No!
Oh my god!
This is so messed up. This is so messed up. Konkai, you have to record. Konkai, record yourself screaming right now and send on the chat. You said this yourself. You said this yourself, Konkai. And it happened. The wish has come true. Poker and April is going to be teammates in this tournament.
Oh my god.
And joining Poker and April, you got Link Yu, her trigger, and then you get AZU and Lasinuki. AZU is the winner of the previous year Asia Sushi Cup as well.
Yeah.
Nah, man, no, that is messed up. This is scripted. I would like to apologize that this tournament has been scripted from the beginning. And let's just move on to the last team before we get some more scripting, elegant. And this team is actually really strong as well. I forgot about this team. The 16th team. QT Vaxi is kind of the seed header. And then you got Renkowu. Kind of like, I think they're in the top 50. Maybe just double check. Okay, they're Kazakhstan #1 4K player. Basically nearly 2-digit. And then joined by which is also like, I mean, let's just talk a bit more about in a bit. But Revoq. Oh my god, I'm having some sort of like brain aneurysm trying to read names. There's a lot of names you see. Very much a Rise orientated player, being able to get a lot of good accuracy scores and plenty of very decent SS out there. And to be honest, this is quite, again, underrated team, because I think this team already has such a strong B and CC foundation with, as I said before, Rantat, Fanboy, QT Vaxi, Midrange, and Samadif. I mean, the AC, there's not going to be a lot of difference. There's not going to be a lot of difference between the AC for this tournament because of the Mappool, which you'll see later on. But these two players can definitely pull up their punches as well. And of course, I forgot to mention this, as well.
Yeah, is definitely one of the strongest players that we got in Indonesia as of now, and they've especially proven their worth, having played for Indonesia over in the MWC in the Mania World Cup earlier on. So they have played in a bunch of tournaments. They actually started back in Dynascape's Intermediate Cup literally only last year, just mere months before the tournament's first iteration, and since then they have become an absolute gauntlet going into right now, with this tournament about to start happening before, we have the 2-week window for where we have to have all the players to the qualifiers, but this player is looking to be crazy in terms of what they've got to offer to the plate. So yet another crazy team. All these teams that we've had so far are absolutely bonkers in terms of what they have to offer as such versatile teams, and I really can't wait to see how they're going to be performing in the qualifiers. But that's it. That's all the players that we had to sort into different groups. So we've got just the qualifier showcase left to do, and with all the teams here, all the 16 teams that are going to be playing in this qualifier spree, 96 individual players to showcase their effort and their absolute power to reign in the tournament. So we do got a bit of an interval before we get into that as usual, but while we have this little recap of all the teams that we got, we hope you stay tuned for the qualifier showcase.
Yeah, I'm going to be summing up, but thank you, Epic Man, for joining me for this the first hour and a half, and now I'm going to be subbed out for Leon, who's going to be taking over the Mappool showcase side of things. Take it over, Leon.
Hello everyone, this is I, Leon, taking over Potato for this qualifiers showcase. And yeah, wow, I've been watching the entire time. This is a crazy step up compared to last year, which is already quite a crazy tournament in general. With all these teams being made right in front of our eyes here.
Indeed. And as we proceed throughout this, you are going to be seeing now we've got quite some insane maps lined up for you. This is not the LN4 tournament. This is Asia Suiji Cup 2. Just wanted to get my mind right for this one.
Yeah, make sure you get that right. And same like last year, we pretty much retained the same structure, stages 1 to 8. And the same thing, stage 1 will be SV and so on and so forth. And yeah, I think everyone has kind of chilled out, relaxed a bit from all the hype just now. And I think we can start with the first map.
And following the suits of last year is going to be none other than the SV map. So going to be the first map of the entire tournament is going to be none other than Usagi Flap Emo Cosine remix, song by Noor, map itself by none other than Rev, who, you know, very well known for some of their SV maps within the Indonesian scene in general.
Yeah. Starting out with SV1, we have Rev this time. The song choice, very popular song choice, and generally not very complex, staying within that 1/4 rhythm. And this SV being very, very reading focused, very easy to catch people off guard. Oh, but you do have this wanted section. This wanted section can catch some people off guard. It's a bit tricky to hit.
Yeah, for being a map that is basically what you'd expect of SV, just condensed into just one slot, it definitely does the job of being able to ensure that it has factors that contest you on both memory and reading SV ability, as we've seen from some of these really unnormalized SV effects that can throw a lot of people off, especially in the triplet section. This song itself is relatively straightforward. I mean, surely this is a song that everyone knows, especially in the Asian community, because, well, Blue Archive is a thing that exists.
Yeah, for sure. But as you mentioned, this chart generally does a good job with mixing different kinds of SVs so far. So not really as straightforward as one would think. But coming back to the Ki, we do have this same section. Actually, no, we don't have the same section. This one isn't really just one to beat all the way. A bit of different SVs mixed into it, and then back into this wanted snap. Exactly same as just now. Very easy to catch off guard.
Indeed, and then you got this final section.
Ending. Yeah, this final section. One last trippy visual gimmick to end the map off.
Yeah, don't choke here.
Yeah, pretty simple, all things given, as it's the same columns. and then one sneaky slowdown at the end actually. So another thing to just keep in mind while playing this map. Not many complex SVs or patterning in this map. It's just the combination of many things that makes it a bit of a challenge for those that aren't used to playing SVs as often.
Mm-hmm. And that said, we can move on. The rest of the map pool should be relatively straightforward, following up on the routes that would have been laid on the groundwork from the previous iteration. We have the early Rice map, going to be none other than Yukidoki, Iro, Furua, Wazu, Daisan, and the map is going to be none other than Gias Hina, otherwise known as Terra. So they have... Basically, they're going to be reprising their role as one of the few Rice mappers that we got for this tournament, and they are cool. They are very flexible in terms of what they have to at least offer on your play when it comes to quite the variety of these kinds of technical maps that we have. This one kind of is more in the early game factor, but it's kind of more mixed. It's fairly dump oriented in some aspects, but it's also fairly flow oriented technical, basically.
Yeah, for sure. And starting off pretty straightforward. This 1/3 of the map, pretty much like the Calm Before the Storm, is the exact same song artist, exact same mapper from last year. So generally the same style applies, just a little bit harder this time. You have this very, very slow build up towards this back half of the map. Yeah, a bit of grace, and here we go. Just pretty much very mixed, as you mentioned. A good mix of some technical bursts here and there, and some awkward jacks to hit.
Yeah, overall, it really does provide that really good balance that you're going to need within some of these Rice-oriented maps overall, where, you know, it's very technical in terms of how you need to control, like, how you at least do a lot of these very burst-oriented patterns, because one trip up and this can basically just spell it for your score. So definitely something to look out for, especially in these easier maps, which seem easier at first, but the control aspect of it makes it a lot more difficult. A 4-star map.
Yeah, this is definitely not a 4-star. Let's get that out of the way. And a final final burst at the end to just top it off. And that's the song pretty much done. Oh, please do not forget these final notes.
Don't take your eyes off the playfield just yet. This is going to be your second stage. So once again, very similar map to what we've seen last year, and a very interesting score to see right there. If you can pull off this sub 50 perfect SS in V1, then this should basically be a piece of cake for you. But then again, do watch out for the rest of the map pools, as this is going to be just as insane. With the next map, going to be yet another Rice-oriented map that we've got in store. It's going to be none other than, it's going to be stage 3. So this map going to be none other than Nebula. Going to be SI and pure 100%, mapped by Doshos. Once again, reprising from the... Have they mapped in the previous iteration?
No, they have not. This is their first appearance in this ASC. We have a lot of newer mappers this edition, as we are constantly gaining more and more people, And this map, stage 3, kind of retaining the same aspect as last edition with that vocal technical dump. But this one more on the technical rather than the vocal, where we will see in a bit.
Yeah, indeed. The map itself is a very stark contrast from what we've seen of Yukidoki, because this map itself is still quite dump-oriented, although it's less orthodox in the sense that it basically just incorporates some more of these really burst and control-heavy patterns as well on some of this future rhythm dubstep-oriented sound design instead of being more dump-oriented on a song that kind of is simpler. So this one has quite a plethora of dense patterns. Going to be some of these bursts, some of these 1/8, some of these flams and graces in 1/12 and 1/16 alike. So very control heavy, as I've mentioned, and definitely do keep on the watch for this.
Yeah, this map, it does not hold back with those technical bursts, playing around with all these different snaps. And yeah, just basically 3 primary sections. And here you see the second one, a bit more tame, but the occasional burst comes in left and right. Not as stamina intensive as well. Very, very heavy emphasis on the just the tech control that one might need to play this.
Indeed. So yeah, once again, the map is still relatively straightforward. It's similar to Stage 2, but more complicated in terms of the pattern design, and it definitely controls more of your physicality while still remaining in the technical factor. So it does have a lot of these more visual-oriented patterns that kind of distinguishes the map itself from the previous map, as we've seen, and basically just makes this all the more harder as a technical map in principle. So once again, if you can play this, then surely you should be able to play through the rest of the pool, or at least like this one is just slightly harder than Stage 2 in my opinion, but that's going to be it for Nebula here.
Yeah, and yeah, the skin is a bit scuffed, unfortunately. Sorry, have to pause for a little moment as we fix this issue. But yeah, this is indeed Qualifier. I would say it's pretty much the same as last edition. This the map so far. We didn't really bump the difficulty as much. It's just very, very, very similar.
Yeah.
But I have no doubt the players will just destroy these maps either way, no matter how insane it looks.
Oh yeah, I mean we've seen it time and time again, and I can definitely see it, like having seen the rest of the map pool already. But I can't give any spoilers right here. I mean, the rest of the map pool is literally looking to be just as dangerous for anyone that's going across them, and I feel this is definitely something we can see going into Stage 4, where we're gonna have our stamina map. It's gonna be Dead Leaves Rising, Unlucky Morpheus, mapped by Ultron.
Yeah. Seems like we still... Yeah, it's okay. We'll fix the skin next time. Don't worry about it, everyone. Just a little bit of scuff. Going to Stage 4 and this map clocking in at a decently high BPM here. It's a bit wrong here, but it's around 250, so fairly dense for a qualifier.
Yeah, indeed. The map itself, different. It contrasts itself over Rice maps very well. This one gonna be a little less technical. It's more just about control, but in the sense of dump stream instead and roll skill in general. So there's parts where, if you're familiar with Ultron's style, especially within, you know, songs like this where they do have some Rice in these more metal-oriented songs that are like faster paced, basically. This is a lot more physical in comparison, going to be reciprocating that of what could probably be the late game stages of this tournament alone, but basically incorporates some of these like dense handstream patterns as well as some of these jump trolls and also these one-handed troll patterns that are just really hard to act in general. So in general, like, this is probably going to be arguably one of the harder like act battles because this demands for your consistency when it comes to more straightforward roll skill maps, and whereas for Stage 3 that contests you more on technical ability, really.
Yeah, generally for other than the very physical players, the rest are just will be holding on to dear life in this map because it is generally a higher step up compared to last year. Once again, the map details are a bit wrong. This is clocking it at 5 stars here. And over 3 minutes non-stop, you have, as you mentioned, just a mix of different patternings and having that thrilly nature. And after all that explaining of this map, we are only halfway into it.
Yeah, it is probably... Yeah, literally. It's like probably one of the longer maps that we have in the qualifiers pool itself.
And that
it doesn't really have much. Oh yeah, I know. This solo in general is just mad. Oh my god.
Yeah, this solo is like the mini disc spike. It's still the streamy aspect, but you get thrown in some trills, some sneaky mini jacks inside. that are generally not bad to hit, but it's hard to hit when you've been hyper focusing for almost 3 minutes already.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely something that's very present within the premises of this map alone. So it's definitely something that you gotta look out for. It has it has what you normally expect of majority of stamina-oriented tournament maps in general, but basically ramps it up for the qualifier stage to be able to give it that extra oomph of difficulty that you're going to be needing going into a map like this, where you basically need that physicality check, and also you just need a bit of a warm-up going into the rest of the map pool. So I feel like this map does a pretty good job being able to basically simulate that, in the sense of having some patterns that also go out of the bounds within stamina maps overall, having some stream bursts as well, some dumps here and there as well, some pretty odd patterns as well that you have on the one hand, and then the other hand you gotta manage other things, such as like some of these mini jacks going into this final few seconds, and that's it.
Yeah, and that's the map. This will be the biggest step up amongst all the other maps here. Just double in the length, and then just not straightforward at all, mixing so many stamina draining patternings for the players to hit. Yeah, this will be quite a challenge. It will be very interesting to see how it goes. And with that, we'll be moving on to stage 5, and we will be finally touching upon our long note pools.
Yep. This one gonna be yet another interesting one. This is going to be our first Ellen map, and this is gonna be none other than Undress Me, Koshunia by Anafrex. So you may know him for quite a bunch of iconic maps from the previous iteration. He's back to throw yet another one of those as your face right here, as we got some usual classic basically abstract coordination that we got here. Some of these a little more technical than the others, some relatively tight flams and releases on a jazz song as well, or at least jazz-oriented rock, basically.
Yeah, for sure. And they do retain that same mapping style for this qualifier. A lot of staggered releases, playing around with the different snaps and the different Ellen lengths. Pretty much one of the ultimate tests of how well you can control your Ellen releases.
Indeed. I feel
Like,
in general... Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say that I feel like in general, NFRX does a really good job being able to like make a coordination map for the qualifiers, and it fits really well in this slot here, because when it comes to coordination alone, you need like some of these really odd releases that can really tackle you in the early game of things when it comes to Ellen in general. So I feel like his maps do a really good job being able to simulate that for what you're probably gonna be seeing in the early game for this tournament as well, for that matter.
Yeah, for sure. And even in the slower section, the releases just generally does not give up. So it's not really a test of your stamina and things like that. It's just more so your mental stamina, how well you can control your 200s mainly. And once again, into the next Ki. Exact same as the first one, a lot of bursts, a lot of staggered releases.
Yeah, indeed. The map just has a lot to showcase for you, and with its runtime of just about 2 minutes, it's just about of an appropriate length to be able to have for a map like this, where it's kind of consistency demanding. So definitely adds up to the mix of, all the other Rice maps that you would have had prior to this, and we can move on to stage 6. So this one is going to be yet another L-line map. It's going to be a little more technical in comparison. It's going to be D. Summers Citrus, mapped by none other than Felix Spade.
Yeah, and it's stage 6. This will be our more physical and more density-focused kind of LN. And just 2 minutes as well, not long at all, but going straight into the bread and butter of the map. No slow, no foreplay going on. It's a bit of stagger releases, broken up LN jump train as well, and here we go into the main sections.
Yeah, indeed. The map itself should be of what you expect. This is basically what you'd expect from most of Citrus's songs. Being, if this is like, if the map itself is considered the bread and butter for Felix Page, I'd say this song would be considered the ham and cheese for Citrus as well, in terms of basically making some of these more dubcore oriented rhythm game songs that you'd expect to hear in a variety of these kinds of games, especially with how this one is basically friendly to a bunch of players, has basically the right resources you need, it has some complexity, it has at least some of these points in the song where it's at least dense, it allows for room to be able to challenge the player in terms of their ability and capabilities of how they can play some patterns where you just need some of these really dense patterns as well to be able to throw into the mix. And we have a bit of this NC section thrown into the mix as well, going into the final third, where this is basically basically adds to the versatility of the map itself, basically.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this part gets a little bit denser towards the end. And going once again back into this more broken up coordination section to end the map off. But the map generally, despite the physicality, is quite flowy, even with this random breaks in between. Just the sheer density and physicality required to hit this will be the main challenge for the map here.
And that final section out of the way, this is gonna conclude it for the summoners here. So once again, very good map to be able to round off and complement that of Undress Me. There's only 2 more maps that we have of this qualifiers pool to venture through, basically. And just to keep things short, we got the stage 7 map. So obviously I can't really put too much information in your head. You already have it in front of you. It's going to be none other than Overwhelmed Haku, mapped by Ailson, your hybrid map qualifier.
Yeah, that's right. Now we're touching upon the hybrids, and this hybrid map by Ailson here. Starting off pretty tame, a bit of Ellen jump scare. So now we're building up. This map generally is quite 50-50 in the patterning, maybe a slight edge in the Ellen mapping. And here we go into the first key eye section.
Yeah, first chorus is relatively straightforward in terms of what it has to offer. It has a bunch of these density-oriented patterns, but it also has jump scares of rice sprinkled in to basically keep the balance in check for what you need for these types of maps in the qualifier, where it needs to test both your capabilities on when it comes to Ellen and control overall. So we could definitely see this map kind of having roots similar to the Summoners as we've seen earlier, but add some more rice into the mix, similar to what we would have had in stage 2, basically. So not making it like way too complicated for the early game hybrid simulator, but basically just enough to be able to provide that extra edge that I feel your team can probably get some good points out of.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this map, not really. I would say this map would land around the quarterfinals range, so very early game oriented. Then the same intro as the outro of the music. A little bit of burst, a little bit of Ellen sporadic patterns here. Generally nothing too crazy for the players to hit.
Indeed, and you got the final few seconds of the map coming down, the final few notes rain down, and that's going to be it for Overwhelm. So you've probably been overwhelmed by the good majority of the map pools so far, but
you did not just do that.
I'm sorry. But thankfully for you, all you 64 remaining people remaining to watch the stream, there's only 1 map left of the qualifiers here to round it off. It's the other hybrid. In fact, it's going to be none other than Tablier. Kuro Fate Niue, mapped by Muses. Your harder technical hybrid map.
Yeah. This has been a very, very long stream, but thank you all for sticking through it. And with this map, very rough intro, you can kind of expect what the map is going to be like. It's a hybrid as well, obviously, but a more rice technical hybrid. And this will land somewhere in the semifinals range.
Yeah, you can kind of Yeah, you can kind of get the gist of how difficult the rice is in this map. Kind of similar to the previous hybrid map, but basically just harder, as it introduces some more difficult rice patterns, so to say, as it does have a bunch of these like faster like rolls that we have at this higher tempo, going to be 194 BPM. And basically on top of that, you still have some of these fairly actable patterns that are still relatively like fair play for you in your favor. This map kind of reminds me of some hybrid maps that would have been, or some of these rice maps that would have been featured in the semifinals of 4DM last year, if I was to make a comparison.
Yeah, that's a fair comparison. The scale doesn't go as high as compared to like other open rank tournaments. But this map generally has that heavy emphasis on that rice technicality, so players are very prone to chokes. Like sections like this, you see those mini jacks on the outer columns there, for the most part, and then the sporadic LNs come into play. So it's like you cannot just hyper focus on the rice alone.
Yeah, this pattern focuses very heavily on when it comes to visual patterns, so having to try and like play it translated into a qualifier setting is definitely something that I feel is going to be a very common point of chokes for any of the teams here, like playing in the tournament. So I feel that this definitely does like prove to be of interest when it comes to at least trying to add something that can be simulating or at least presentable of what you're going to see towards the late game. Like, not exactly quite there, but just enough to be able to showcase that, you know, there's difficulty in the tournament. So you can't like go through the entire flower field without feeling, oh, it's too difficult, it's too easy, you know?
Yeah, just like this section right here. Pretty much a rice focus PI in that section. Very bursty. And then this entire map pretty much very minimal break. And then once again you have this more rice section but sporadic LNs thrown into the mix.
And some hand streams embedded with some of these LNs in between to represent the final few vocals. And that's going to be it. You have the final hand stream section in, and that will be it for the map. 994K on this map, and this rolls the dice and basically finishes that of this qualifier Mappool showcase, as we have done the drafting and we've done basically what you needed to know for what you're going to be playing in the next 2 weeks, basically. So yeah.
Yeah, that is all for the qualifiers, and this has been a very, very long stream. We are ending it just at the 2-hour mark, so I will say just in time actually. But yeah. Once I will just say this real quick. Very sorry for the skin. It's a bit of a internal issue we have at the moment, but we will get that fixed very, very soon. Very sorry to those that work very hard on the skin. But yeah, that is the stream done. We have our teams, we have our maps. Anything else you want to add generally for what we have today? It feels like a lot to take in.
I could use some Indomie right now, I can't lie.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I could use one too.
I mean, you know, it's an Asian tournament, so surely I've got to make some of these references, you know? But that's it. That's all I gotta say. Don't worry. That's it.
Alright. Okay. Yeah. That is all. I feel like people are tired. It's almost midnight for a lot of these countries. And as mentioned earlier during the drafting, there will be 2 weeks actually. So 1 whole week for players to just get settled in, get used to their teams, and decide their team captain and banners. And then only the following week we actually start with the qualifier lobbies. But that's
absolutely.
Indeed. That's it for now. I pretty much don't have anything else to add. And we will see you guys in quite a while. Definitely stay tuned in the server. We have some fun challenges. We have some things planned for those that unfortunately aren't able to play in this ASC. So stay tuned for that.
Indeed, yeah. This has been Epic Man 2 and Leon, and we will be signing off. Have a great rest of your day, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see you in about 2 weeks' time. Bye-bye.
Bye.